And back here in Washington, we're learning new details about what's being described as the craziest meeting of the Trump presidency. The January 6th committee today laid out what it says led up to the Capitol riot and the person it blames, former President Donald Trump. CBS's Scott MacFarlane is on Capitol Hill.
The committee argued today the attack that erupted at the Capitol was ignited 18 days earlier with an overnight tweet from former President Trump that was a call to arms to march on Washington.
Trump repeated his big lie and claimed it was, quote, statistically impossible to have lost the 2020 election before calling for a big protest in D.C. on January 6th. Be there, will be wild.
Far-right groups and conspiracy theorists immediately latched onto it as a battle cry.
President Trump, in the early morning hours today, tweeted that he wants the American people to march on Washington, D.C.
A former employee of Twitter, whose identity was kept secret, said online reaction to Trump's tweet was frightening.
A mob was being organized, and they were gathering together their weaponry and their logic and their reasonings behind why they were prepared to fight.
But it wasn't just far-right groups like the Oath Keepers and Proud Boys. Stephen Ayers of Ohio, who pleaded guilty to disorderly conduct at the Capitol, said many were hanging on Trump's every word and that Trump could have convinced the mob to go home at any time January 6th.
So why'd you decide to march to the Capitol?
Well, basically, the president, got everybody riled up, told everybody to head on down. So we basically were just following what he said.
The committee revealed messages of frustration from some Trump allies on the 6th. Former campaign manager Brad Parscale writing a sitting president asking for civil war and that Trump's rhetoric killed someone. Committee members revealed for the first time clips of their long-sought deposition with former Trump White House counsel Pat Cipollone.
I don't think any of these people were providing the president with good advice.
They focused on an extraordinary marathon December 18th meeting in the White House, in which Cipollone battled with the president's outside advisors, including controversial attorney Sidney Powell, who presented a draft executive order calling for the military to round up voting machines in search of fraud.
To have the federal government seize voting machines, it's a terrible idea for the country.
What they were proposing, I thought was nuts.
Wyoming Republican Liz Cheney said Trump's allies are now trying to blame his behavior on so-called crazy outside advisors.
This, of course, is nonsense. President Trump is a 76-year-old man. He is not an impressionable child.
A bombshell at the end of the hearing. Congresswoman Cheney says Donald Trump recently called a committee witness, a witness who has yet to testify. The witness didn't take the call, instead contacted his or her attorney, but witness tampering is a form of obstruction of justice, potential serious federal crime. Nora?
More to come on that. Scott MacFarlane, thank you.